12:07 in the morning. You're looking at a very interesting video for this. This is going to be Ivan's Miscellaneous series, a script developer. So for this video, I'm going to talk about the script developer who I want to hire. I only want script developers who are in Hollywood. See these people are out. For this video, I'm going to talk about the script developer. I'm going to talk about the hiring process. So the process of hiring the script developer. I'm going to talk about the script developer's duties for the 4 years of Miscellaneous. I'll briefly explain the 4 years of Miscellaneous. I'm going to talk about the potential candidates. How you have Rian Johnson, you have J.J. Abrams, you have Jon Favreau. There's a good chance. I'm all applicants are welcome. All screenwriters who work in Hollywood, or directors who wrote a movie, they're all welcome to apply. But I'm just saying that if those guys happen to apply, the guys I just mentioned, there's a good chance I'll be hiring one of those guys. Because those guys have an outstanding resume. Like a few of them wrote Star Wars. Star Wars is a big franchise. One of them created. All of them happen to be working on Star Wars. Star Wars is a big franchise, yeah. Hence why if one of those candidates end up applying, there's a good chance I'm gonna end up hiring one of those guys. But again, all applicants are all screenwriters who work in Hollywood, or directors who wrote a movie. Because there's some directors who also direct and write. There's some people who are just screenwriters, and some people who direct and also write. Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, and Jon Favreau, those guys all happen to have experience with directing movies, which is good because I want my script developer help my assistant director for my movies. At the same time, they have experience writing scripts. Hence, it's good to have a guy who directs and writes and wrote movies. But screenwriters are all welcome. People who just screen wrote a movie, who worked in Hollywood, they're all welcome to apply. But I'm just saying that those guys are good candidates, as well as the people who wrote Avengers. If one of those guys who happen to write Avengers applies, there's a good chance I'll be hiring one of those guys. There's a good chance. I'm not saying I'm going to hire them. Like if there's other good candidates out there, which they will be, obviously, I could end up hiring those other candidates. But the people I just mentioned, there's a good chance I'm going to end up hiring one of those guys. And whoever I choose will be saved till they die. They're going to be saved. They're going to be working for me and my wife until they die. So they're going to be saved. They'll be making a rich salary. They'll be making $2 million yearly salary, and I'll give them a $75,000 raise per movie. They get the perks with a buffet. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be saved. That's why in other words, even though the actors are really lucky, the people who are going to be the most lucky are the 16. The script developer will be fucking lucky because he'll be with me and my wife till he dies, man. Whereas the actors are lucky because they're going to be on the scenes with you and your wife. But like I want different actors for my movie. So after Miscellaneous is finished, after the process for Miscellaneous is finished, and productions ends, the journey ends with the actors. The journey stops there with the actors. And I'm gonna move on. To my next movie, which is the Organization movie. We're looking at a kick-ass movie for that. Right? Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about the script developer, his duties. I want to be a guy, his duties, the process of the hiring process. You're looking at a long video here. The hiring process. I'll try and make it about. Hence why I don't want to babble for too long. I want to get to the point here. Because I want to get to the script developer topic that way. I want to finish it within the time constraints on my phone. So very quickly here, the script developer, I will talk about the process of hiring him, his duties, right? How the script developer will be my assistant producer. He'll be helping me writing the scripts. He's responsible for the casting calls, so he'll be my casting director. So the script developer has many hats. He's my casting director. He's responsible for the casting calls and all the reels that will be sent into to SkySource. Because all the Hollywood actors are going to send in their fucking reels, man. Especially for the Organization movie. Like, Zayas already chose my actors. I only have the only three major roles left. Like the actors, like the actors, the voice actors for Airtel and all of them. I don't know who I want to cast for that. Those are major characters, as well as the major characters like Sirius, Cornelius, and Eli. I don't know who I want to cast for those, but everyone else are all minor characters. Hence, for the organization movie, I won't be getting as much reels. I'll get a lot of reels for the voice acting for Eritat and all them, and Morality Feast and all them. But for Sirius, Cornelius, and Eli are all older men. So I won't get that many casting calls for things. But for the organization movie, I only have two actors chosen. So a lot of a shitload of Hollywood actors are gonna be saying in their reels. My secretaries are gonna get a shitload of calls from the agents, man. Look at something crazy organization movie. Yeah, it was something fucking crazy. So yeah, for this video, I'm gonna talk about the script developer, his duties, and the process of hiring him. Looking at regime video. Now let me stop babbling on because I want to. I don't want to. I don't want to run out of time here. All right. Right. So welcome back, world. This is Ivan Amir here, and I seriously hope you're enjoying this very interesting Miscellaneous series that'll be missed for generations to follow forever. As I continue to say, the countdown to my series is already ticking. I told you. You guys remember earlier this year when I said that time will fly by? Well, now we're almost done the year 2020, and you only have 10 videos left in this remaining Miscellaneous series, and yet you will just start taking this for granted. Remember earlier this year in January? Remember earlier this year in January when I said in my renting animals videos, I talked about how time's gonna fly by and 2020 is gonna be over, and I talked about next year in January how I'm gonna be announcing my phases. I'm gonna be pumping up my final wheels on my Miscellaneous series. Remember early January this year when I said, hey guys, 2020 is gonna go by fast, and next year in January I'm gonna be pumping up my remaining series, my Miscellaneous series, and now we're already what, a month, almost 1 month, and we're already into the New Year's of 2021. And you guys are still taking it for granted. Because I told you, once I get my laptop back, I'll pump up my final phases, my remaining phases, and I'll pump up my remaining videos, and I'll make that final announcement, and I'll be done my series for good. And yeah, you're still taking it for granted. That's what boggles my mind about you guys. You guys are crazy people, man. Yeah. "2020, I remember early January, 2020. I said, early January 2020, I said what? I said the times will fly by, and yet you guys are what? And then you guys are continuing to take it for granted. And then we're already almost done 2020, and then we're moving on to 2021. In early 2021, I'll be pumping out my remaining videos. I'll be pumping out my remaining videos in my series. Next year, I should make the announcement probably around August, September. I want to delay it because I want to delay it because I'm not ready to face your true nature. But next year, around September, I should be making the announcement. I keep pushing the date because I'm not ready to face your true nature, man. There's nothing worse than knowing death's your fate. Hence why I wanna wait. I'm gonna extend it to September. I'm gonna extend the announcement to September. That way I can have some more time to enjoy myself. The reason why I want to extend the date is because I did not know that my laptop would get sabotaged. My plan this year was to finish my book in the fall of 2020, and then celebrate for a good like 5-6 months. Because the Steph families hacked my laptop and sabotaged my laptop. That's how wicked they are. The last thing I want to do is finish my book and only have like a month left. No, I want to take some time and enjoy myself. Hence why I'm probably going to push the announcement to September next year. So a good like 10 months from now, I'll be making that announcement. And then that'll be it for Ivan the Mayor, and you're still taking it for granted. Yeah. So as I said, world, you made the foolish choice many years ago when both me and my wife were born. You saw the two choices. So when me and my wife were born many years ago, you saw the two choices and you still chose to be stupid. We know. Okay, on one hand, we know if we choose to cause mess in Ivan Vijay's life and Ivan has to suffer death to save his wife, we know that Ivan and Vijay will be peace of out wherever, and yet, right? But who knows? Maybe they might change their mind with Wilson. But no, you know full well that after killing innocent man, Ivan Mayer and causing that mess, Ivan Mayer and Vijay are guaranteed gonna peace out. There's no way. There's nothing worse than death, man. What did I do to deserve death? I'm fucking innocent. I didn't do anything wrong to deserve death. You're willing to kill an innocent man who didn't do anything wrong. That's what boggles my mind. You're willing to kill an innocent man who did no wrong. Right? As I say, well, you made the foolish choice many years ago. When both me and my wife were born, you saw two choices. On the one side, you saw the amazing glory in Hollywood, the movies, seminars, interviews, right? So when me and my wife were born, when me and my wife were conceived, you saw the two choices. You saw the life me and VJ were king and queen in Hollywood. You saw the amazing glory with the movies. I don't know. You see me and my wife were as kids. We're doing movies. We're big budget movies. You saw us doing. You saw our interviews. You saw us at the Comic Con. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife were the main attraction around the world. You saw. You know what I'm saying? You saw that glory and you're like, fuck, man. Like even though it's amazing seeing their glory and we're saved, every time we dream, we're like, the screen goes black. We don't see them have sex. We're never gonna know it's like for them to have sex. But even though you're never gonna know it's like for them to have sex, you would have been saved forever, and you wouldn't have that hurt feeling being left behind, right? On the other hand, you saw Ivan and Vijay separated, sabotaged Ivan on YouTube. So you saw this life that you see now. You saw Ivan making videos, bum Ivan making videos on a Sabotage channel, right? You saw Vijay as a trashy porn star in Hollywood, right? So you knew okay, if we choose to separate Ivan and Vijay, we're gonna get a trashy Vijay in Hollywood, rip off sex with Vijay, because all those men who bang Vijay, they got rip off sex. They don't, because Vijay's holy. Like me, when they have sex with her, they only see her flesh. They don't see her spirit. So they got rip off sex from VJ. When Ivan O'Mara pays his fee, all the women in Hollywood, they're getting rip off sex from Ivan. Yeah, that's the setup, obviously. So you saw the Sabotage bum Ivan on YouTube. You saw a Sabotage bum Ivan on YouTube, obviously. A Sabotage bum Ivan on YouTube. Sabotage bum on YouTube making YouTube videos. And you saw a trashy porn star VJ in Hollywood. And yet you made this, and you knew by making this choice that you're gonna get rip-off sex from both Ivan and VJ, and because VJ's infected, Ivan has to die for her, and VJ requires can't see Ivan. You know by making that foolish choice, Ivan and VJ are not gonna peace out, and now the entire world's gonna be left behind, and only the lucky few, like the actors and crewmen, will be saved. And yet you guys chose to make the stupid choice anyways. Because you guys are reprobate. You're reprobate people, man. Like, it boggles my mind. Like, to this day, I cannot understand how you can... Like, it boggles my mind how you would choose bullshit rip-off sex. You can... I have the keys, you can see. You know full well that... that by making this choice, Ivan O'Mara's piecing the fuck out, and you're gonna get rip-off sex, and you made a choice anyways. The reason why you made this choice is you somehow hoped maybe we might see Ivan when he pays his fee. Maybe there's a glimpse of hope we might see him. Maybe him and VJ might change their mind when you know for what I'm not gonna do by that. I'm piecing the fuck out for this. And you made the stupid choice anyways, yeah. Because you guys are reprobate people, man. It boggles my mind how you chose bullshit sex over eternal glory. To this day, I cannot understand, man, how you would choose like if I wasn't God, I would choose God's glory any day over bullshit sex, and yet you chose bullshit sex. Like even though like me and my wife turned you guys on, it boggles my mind how you guys would choose bullshit sex and be left behind over eternal glory and be saved. Like to this day, you would have seen thousands. I would have made thousands of videos for you to watch by now on YouTube, Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Movies. Like I would have made so many videos for you to watch, and you would have been saved forever. And yet you chose a Salvador Ivan on YouTube, a trashy Salvador Ivan in Hollywood, and a rip off sex, and being left behind over eternal glory and being saved, and never know us to have sex. Crazy, man. Fucking crazy, man. Right? Hence, you knew the whole thing was a setup, and yet you chose bullshit rip-off sex, a poor Salvador Ivan, and a trashy porn star VJ in Hollywood, over an eternity of amazing glory in Hollywood, which to this day boggles my mind, as I said before. Sometimes I ask myself, world, how could the world be so blind and reprobate and choose rip-off sex over eternity of God's glory in Hollywood? So, I'm going to keep saying this. It boggles my mind, as sometimes I ask myself, how could the world be so blind and choose rip-off sex over an eternity of glory, of God's glory in Hollywood? That's what boggles my mind. Like, sometimes I ask myself, how could the world be so blind and choose rip-off sex over an eternity of God's glory in Hollywood? Like, it boggles my mind. Like, how could you choose bullshit rip-off sex over an eternity of God's glory? To this day, I'll never know, but it boggles my mind how you guys can be so reprobate. Right? Yes, you cannot see me and my wife have sex, but neither can me nor VJ, as there are many people in the world whereby me and her will never know what life from have sex, and yet we don't give a fuck. There's many people in the world that are attractive on the outside. There's many people in the world that are attractive that I'll never know what it's like for them to have sex. And I don't give a shit. And then when it's Ivan, you have to see him have sex because you guys are fucking crazy. Yeah, I know him why. I know my wife's end. But like, I didn't know you guys would be that crazy. Because we can't see Ivan have sex, he has to pay a heavy price to be his wife. Like, your logic is fucking retarded. Like, because we can't see Ivan have sex, even though he's holy and he's not a fan of STDs, he has to pay a heavy price to be with his wife because we can't see him have sex. When I keep telling you that you're not meant for me, I'm only meant for my wife, hence why you cannot see me. The reason why you guys cannot see me is because you're not meant for me. You guys are meant for each other. I'm only meant for my wife. Hence why you cannot see me. My wife is the only one who deserves to see me because she has eternal history with me before creation itself. Whereas you guys are our fucking creation. You don't deserve to fucking see us, man. Yeah, there you go. The only person who deserves to see me is my wife, whereas you world, you don't deserve to fucking see me. Because you're not meant for me, you're not compatible with me. You guys are meant for each other, I'm meant for my wife, she's meant for me. Right now you guys are blind, you don't see, but once I come out of that, it's finally gonna hit your minds, oh my god, I understand it, I get it now. VJ's only meant for Ivan, Ivan's only meant for VJ. Yeah, that's why you cannot see me. And there's many people in the world I'll never know what it's like when they have sex. Yeah, I don't give a shit. And then once Ivan, you have to see him have sex. So you guys are fucking crazy, man. Yeah, man. Right? So yes, you world, you cannot see me and my wife have sex, but neither can me or VJ see a lot of people have sex. There's a lot of people in the world whereby me and her will never know what it's like to have sex, and yet we don't give a fuck. You know, when it's Ivan, you have to be selfish to see him have sex. In other words, you guys are so selfish that you know, like, I was willing to save my virginity for my wife, and you're willing to turn me into a porn star and see me have sex all because of your fucking selfishness. You guys are selfish people, man. Before Ivan can be with his wife, we need to see me have sex because you guys are selfish people. So you get your husband and wife all free, but Ivan has to pay to be with his wife. That's what fucking pisses me off. A fucking virgin man who never been in a relationship has to pay a price to be with his wife, and you get your free wife and your free husband. You guys are fucking crazy. You're not even fucking God. And hence why I'm piecing the fuck out Makazume that, and you're gonna be left behind a band. You what you fucking deserve, man. No way in hell am I gonna let you have me pay a price to be my wife and have you not pay a price. No, you're gonna pay a fucking price, man. You're gonna be left behind a band, and I'm gonna live my great life with my wife forever. Yeah. So when it's Ivan and VJ, the entire world has to see them have sex. That's how crazy you people really are. And that's how reprobate you guys are, as you guys are fucking selfish people, man. As I explained earlier, you're fucking selfish people. Like, we get our husbands and wives free, but Ivan and VJ don't get each other free. They have to pay to be together. And you're not even fucking God. So the person who created this world has to pay to be with his wife, and the human beings we created, they don't have to pay to be with their husbands and wives. That's your fucking logic. You guys are fucking crazy, man. And that's why I'm peacing out. You guys are fucking crazy people. Fucking crazy. You didn't fucking create this world. I created this world, and yet you have the guts to tell me I gotta pay to be my own wife. You guys are reprobate people, man. Fucking reprobate. So reprobate, you're willing to choose bullshit sex over eternal glory of God. That's how reprobate you guys are, man. Right? But going back to biblical symbolism, where do you think they come up with the idea of Adam and Eve losing paradise in the garden? Well, it's a symbolism of you world. When both me and my wife were conceived, you guys saw the amazing glory. So the biblical symbolism of Adam and Eve losing paradise in the garden, it's a symbolism of you world. When both me and my wife were conceived, you guys saw the amazing glory that you would have witnessed. You guys saw the amazing life me and my wife would have had in Hollywood. And you guys saw the salvation you would have had, that amazing feeling of being saved and not feeling left behind and abandoned, and yet you took it for dear granted. In other words, that amazing feeling of feeling saved, that those actors and crewmen are going to cherish so much that they're going to beg their asses off and cry. Beg their asses off and cry. That amazing feeling, that amazing feeling is now lost. And you took that amazing feeling for granted, man. You world, trust me, right now you don't see because you're blind. I don't care. I want to see Ivan have sex, but it's not until I peace out and now you see the glory. You're gonna be like, fuck, man. I can't believe we took this glory for granted. Yeah, you took me and my wife's glory for granted, man. You guys are reprobate people, man. Right? Right? You guys saw the amazing life me and my wife would have had in Hollywood, and you guys saw the salvation you would have had, that amazing feeling of being saved and not feeling left behind and abandoned, and yet you took it for dear granted, choosing bullshit sex, and now that amazing glory and salvation is now lost. Just like Adam and Eve, they saw paradise. God told them not to eat of the tree, or the fruit, and yet Eve disobeyed, and God cast them out of paradise. Just like Ivan, Omer, and Vijay cast the world off, and now all are left behind and abandoned by God, and only a select few like the crew and actors are saved. So the symbolism there's a lot of symbols you can get from the Garden of Eden. I might actually do a video about biblical symbolism, and I'll talk about the amazing symbolism in the Bible. Even though the Bible's fantasy, there's a lot of symbols you can apply to me and my wife's life, like the Paradise Lost. Adam and Eve, they saw paradise in the garden. They saw paradise in the garden, and God told them not to eat God told them not to touch the fruit. And yet Eve chose to touch the fruit. Eve got deceived and touched the fruit, and Adam and Eve lost paradise because they both touched the fruit and ate of the fruit. Well, you can get a lot of symbolism from that. The symbolism from that is the symbolism of you guys. When me and my wife were born, you guys would have seen the amazing glory, symbolism of paradise. Just like Adam and Eve saw the amazing glory of God, were in God's presence. They were in God's presence. They were in the Garden of Eden. Once they disobeyed, God cast them out of the garden. Well, the symbolism of that is once the moment the world decided to touch my wife, I put a rule: do not touch my wife. You touch my wife, My wife will have to die, and you're going to be left behind. You touch my wife, I will have to die, and you guys will be left behind. You guys will be cast off. Well, the moment you touch my wife, I wash my hands on the world and my stepfamilies, and now the whole entire world is cast off and left behind by God. Yeah, there's a symbolism. There's a symbolism. There's a lot of symbolism you can get from the Bible. There's also symbolism of my wife selling into Hollywood. Eve got deceived. My wife got duped into selling into Hollywood. Yeah, Satan tempted Eve. Who do you think is the symbolism of Satan? The stepfamilies. The stepfamilies are the gatekeepers of the world. The symbolism of Satan, the symbolism of Satan is the stepfamilies. Stepfamilies have the power in the world, have power in the world. And when me and my wife were born, they were supposed to hand over the power to us, to God, and they decided to what? Betray God. Just like in heaven, Lucifer declared a war against God by what? Saying I can take God's throne. I might make a video called Biblical Symbolism. I'm going to talk about the amazing symbolism in the Bible. Even though the Bible's fantasy, I'm going to talk about the amazing symbolism in the Bible. And I'm going to talk about how it apply. A lot of stuff you can apply. You can get a lot of symbolism and apply it to me and my wife's life. A lot of symbols you can get from the Bible, man. Jesus being the Son of God. You know what I'm saying? The Holy Spirit, symbolism of Vijay. Vijay is my spirit, obviously. Jesus is the Son of God, the rapture of the church. Christ raptures his bride. So I save my wife and I rapture the actors. The actors Christ vanishes. Christ's followers vanish with Christ, and many are left behind. Yeah, there's a lot of symbols you can get from the Bible. Christ comes back as king to rule. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Christ's followers rule alongside him as small kings. Well, symbolism of that is the actors, the Hollywood actors. When they sign off for Zanians, they're gonna get paid a shitload of money. They're gonna be rich, and once they're in Hollywood, they're gonna be ruling over Hollywood. They're gonna be the big dogs in Hollywood. Yeah, because they're gonna have successful careers. Yeah, a lot of symbols you can get from the Bible, man. I might make a video called Biblical Symbolism. I might in 2 weeks from now. Stay tuned. I might make a video about biblical symbolism. I'll call it Biblical Symbolism. It's not part of my Miscellaneous series, but I'll make a nice 2-hour video about biblical symbolism. And I'll talk about like the symbolism to my life. Talk about the stepfamilies, the symbolism of Satan. What's the symbolism of Satan? The powers and principalities in the world. Christ in the Bible says Christ fought all the powers of principalities in the world, and he made a show of them. It's the symbolism of me fighting all the powerful people in the world. Once I pay this fee, once I make that announcement, Ivan O'Mara will be fighting the most powerful men in the world. That's how scary it's gonna be. But because I'm God, and I know, and I'm more powerful than all, of course I'm gonna be bold and say, look, man, you may be powerful, but you didn't create this universe. I'm the one who created this universe. I'm the rightful king. My wife's the rightful queen. You're not the you're not the rightful king. You're not the rightful queen. I'm gonna be bold and say, no, I'm not selling to you, man. Yeah, there you go. You look at a very interesting video for that, right? Hence, Adam and Eve, they saw paradise. They were in paradise. They experienced God's glory. But as soon as they sinned, they were cast out of God's presence, and they were cast out of God's presence, obviously, and then they were no longer allowed in the garden. Well, the symbolism of that, there's a lot of symbols you can get from that. The moment the world decided to betray me and my wife, I washed my hands on the stepfathers in the world, and I cast them off. Cast them out of my presence. Yeah, cast them out of my presence. And now only a select few are saved, and the rest of the world are not saved. They're left behind. Yeah, symbols you can get from a lot of symbols you can get from the Bible, man. In other words, world, you chose to be left behind instead of being saved. So you would rather be left behind and see the two gods have rip-off sex instead of being saved and not see them have sex and witness their amazing glory in Hollywood. Yup, that's how reprobate your world really are. And that's how reprobate your world really are. And mark my words, Ivan O'Mara already announced his 2 phases of his amazing fashion are worth billions. Hence why the stepfamily is purposely hacked. Yes, hacked. That's how wicked they are. And sabotaged my laptop. I'll set my camera off here.